everyone. Mrs. Thornton here. Today we are going to study the great composer Ludwig van Beethoven, who was born way back in 1770 and died in 1827. That was a long time ago. Beethoven was a composer. He was born in Bonn, Germany. That's over in Europe, across the ocean. Remember, we've discussed where Europe is in the past. In the late 18th century, he moved to Vienna, Austria, at the age of 21 to study with Joseph Haydn. Remember the surprise symphony that we did? That we did sudden fortes to piano. It was way back at the beginning of school. That was Franz Joseph Haydn. A composer is a person who creates music either by writing notes or making up notes as they go along. Musical notation means the person writes music notes and rhythms on paper for people to read and play. Here we have the map of Germany. It's a country in Europe. There it is right there. Okay. Has millions of people in it, just like we have. Here is the flag of Germany. Looks different than our flag. He began learning keyboard at a young age from his father, who was also a musician. He played music. He was performing in concerts for everybody by the age of 7, and he wrote his first piece of music when he was 13 years old. He changed musical style from classical to romantic. They're just periods in music, and we don't have to know about them right now. The classical period, though, is a period of time when music was composed and it had like clear, catchy melodies to it. So it was like our version of pop music back then, but they called it classical. Beethoven wrote many different forms of music, including symphonies, masses, piano sonatas, and chamber music. Some of his most famous compositions include his Fifth and Ninth Symphonies and his Moonlight Sonata, which we will hear examples of. You don't have to know the names, but you might know the tune of the Fifth Symphony, so we'll talk about that later. Beethoven began to lose his hearing, this is very important, at the age of 26 and was almost completely deaf. He couldn't hear by the age of 44. Amazingly, he was able to compose music even after he lost his hearing. So we're going to watch a little kid's video on Beethoven. Can you imagine trying to write music and listen when you can't hear? He had the music in his head. Have you ever thought of like a catchy piece of music in your head, like a piece of pop music, like that Good Morning song? Good morning, good morning, good morning to you, or something like that. And it doesn't leave your head. You just think about it half the day. That's how Beethoven wrote music. He could hear the music in his head, and then he would just write it down, even when he was deaf. So we'll talk more about Beethoven. I hope you enjoyed my little presentation, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.